Two members of Congress, one on each side of the aisle, separately announcing plans to leave their posts.
California Congressman Eric Swalwell and Texas Representative Tony Gonzales have each been embroiled in their own scandals related to allegations of sexual misconduct. And with both facing possible expulsion votes, they each said Monday that they were stepping down. Swalwell, a Democrat and former frontrunner for the California governor's mansion, has repeatedly denied the sexual assault allegations against him. But according to the Washington Post, he acknowledged some past, quote, mistakes in judgment on Monday. He followed it up announcing that he would resign because it was wrong for his constituents to have him distracted from his duties. Swalwell went on to say he would fight the, quote, false allegations made against him.
Just a short time later, Republican Representative Gonzales announced he would file for his retirement from office today. This comes after Gonzales acknowledged an affair with a former staffer, later died by suicide, dropped his bid for re-election last month amid a House Ethics Committee investigation. Representatives Teresa Leger Fernandez and Ana Paulina Luna had planned to introduce resolutions to expel both men from Congress when the House reconvened this week. Fernandez says she still plans on filing the resolution against Gonzales if he doesn't resign immediately. But in the wake of both announcements, Paulina Luna celebrated on X, writing, "We've successfully drained part of the swamp this week with the resignation of two very corrupt members of Congress."
A lot happened in the 48 hours of this week, Monday and Tuesday. Counting Sunday.
Yeah, we discussed this yesterday. I had a little bit of a slightly controversial take with Eric Swalwell yesterday. Look, this is a lot of Me Too type stuff. You know, it's described as sexual assault accusations because one of the accusers said that they had an encounter when she was too drunk, and which she didn't think of as coercive at the time, but subsequently has changed her mind about that. I don't know how to litigate those things, frankly. Those make me a little bit suspicious. The other stuff is, flirty, infidelity, which he's alleged or has acknowledged, essentially. It's with, and then with Tony Gonzales, again, this was infidelity, not coerced, but it is with someone who worked for you, which is
right.
Not employment terms is not appropriate. So, I think them both resigning is appropriate. I don't like having every wrongful sexual encounter being reclassified as rape, as was happening at the height of Me Too, but there should be a high standard for people who serve in public office. So fine by me. But I did point out, Eric Swalwell was leading the governor's race. This is to the benefit of Katie Porter, another Democrat running for Congress. Katie Porter is also accused of some pretty bad behavior in terms of her relationship. I remember
she walked out on that reporter too.
Well, yeah, that stuff, and she seems unpleasant to interview, but she, in her divorce proceedings, was accused by her ex of throwing like boiling hot mashed potatoes at him and some other things. Wow. Again, grain of salt for, bitter divorce, he said, she said, but that's kind of in the same category of the Swalwell stuff, so I'm not sure, I think she should probably just get out of the race. I wouldn't support either of them in any case. So I don't know.
I'm happy that Swalwell and Gonzales both decided to step down. Facing expulsion is obviously not a great thing. And when people are looking into your ethical behavior and your behavior is unethical, well, you shouldn't be moving forward in the first place. Both of them were bold enough, understanding their own histories, to walk forward confidently, chest up, and say, I'm going to go after this bigger role.
Since there was both of them, because I think Republicans were never going to consent to just expel a Republican, and Democrats were maybe never going to consent to just expel a Democrat. So the fact that they had a Republican and a Democrat made it go, okay, our side both loses one. So, okay.
Well, I actually think with Swalwell, the Democrats, maybe there was a little bit of cohesion going on. Mm-hmm. I know that in California, they probably saw the writing on the wall that if, that's like a jungle race. So basically, if the two Republicans are the top polling people, they'll be in the race, which will be uncomfortable.
Right. Democrats want there to be consolidation in that race.
Right.
Anyway.
And so if there's somebody who may be the front runner on the Democratic side, but also has all these skeletons in their closet that will very obviously, and easily come out as soon as it's a contender, let's say Swalwell against one of the Republican candidates, well, that would be problematic. So instead of waiting to that finish line, why not get ahead of it and say, listen, you have too much stuff with you. Katie Porter's obviously problematic, but there's still enough time to see if she would be the front runner, if his people that were supporting Swalwell will go to her. There's still a lot of other candidates, like you said, too many.
I would encourage, again, I'm not, no stakes. I don't live in California. There is the Democrat I like the best is Matt Mahan. He's the mayor of San Jose. I don't know all that much about him, but I've heard
Is it some kind of tech stance that you like about his? Some kind of tech stance that you like about his?
He's a more...
Is he the one who got so much money from the tech industry to be in this race? So you're going to support the man who's getting lobbied to no end?
He talks about how it's a problem of... There's a crisis of confidence in democratic governance because they spend so much money and they don't provide adequate services, and we can't ask people to pay more in taxes when we continue to not deliver services. That was a message that appeals to me. So.
Okay. So you're going to become a Democrat then?
Well, I'm not a voter in California.
Just in case you move to the place that you hate so much.
Happy for Steve Hilton to win as well. That's the leading Republican, former Fox News personality endorsed by Trump. Maybe it'll be him.
Well, I thought it was interesting that Anna Paulina said the words drain the swamp. We haven't heard that in a long time. I know that President Trump ran on that idea of draining the swamp and getting rid of any issues.
Right.
And so this would be reigniting that. So I hope that, I don't have any blanket protection.
Corruption, though. It's not really... Usually I think of drain the swamp as referring to, deep state interests or financial interests controlling things. Was that the case with these were two, impropriety in their personal behavior, which maybe was serious enough in both those cases to merit this course of action, but it's not really draining the swamp to me.
Well, I think bringing back this space where we're holding some type of accountability, some moral accountability to people that are in office is a great thing for our country to actually have some decency. I think that would be a great way forward for us to figure out how to lead. Start there, and then we can pile on afterwards about all the other things, because you seem to have excused a lot of the indecent financial behavior from a lot of other people historically. And so that's the swamp I'd like to start with, people who are hiring their kids to do certain things.
Trump's been married multiple times. Gavin Newsom is the leading Democrat. Is his second. We don't need to probe all that stuff.
I know, but with Gonzales even specifically, I know they're not connecting directly the suicide to him, but he has some really terrible accusations against him. And you want to think of somebody who can't even make the judgment to possibly not sleep with staffers. Will be judging things that are deciding the fate of your political life, some decisions that affect you financially as a local leader. I think that I would prefer somebody who makes more sound decisions than the decisions that either one of them have made. It's not a high bar.
Fair enough, but I tend to think these things should be up to the voters, right? They were going to be expelled not by the voters, which if the voters have every right to toss them for these reasons or for any other reason. I would never vote for either of these people. For policy-related reasons, let alone these kinds of things. But I tend to think voters should be making those calls, not Congress as a body itself. But
it could open Pandora's box, though. There are a couple other people that are...
Or fine, expel them all. Expel them all. They should all mutually expel each other, and we should have a Congress of
no government
of no one.
Whatsoever, just Supreme Court only?
Yeah, that'd be good. Well, we might as well. They're not doing anything anyway. The Supreme Court does all the legislating because they don't do their jobs.
That's true.
They just like to be TV personalities.
Congress?
Yeah, they're just talk on TV.
Okay.
Up next, New York City Mayor Zohran Mamdani. We're talking about him again. He announced the location for his first city-owned grocery store. Oh boy. Stay with us.